Hey everyone, welcome to the Geo Community Call for July 13th. Um, so we took a break for a week from the rankings. I know I said that we were going to publish some new rankings last week, but we thought we'd take a break and keep people on their toes. But we do have another fun ranking that's going to be coming soon, so keep an eye out for that. On our side, we have been working on preparing to open things up for the next group of folks. And one of the things that we've been doing is focusing on what we've been calling internally the light curator, which is all about making it easier for people to get started in contributing to Geo without having to, learn too much off the bat. So that would make all of you guys here the advanced curators, and then we'll have light curator mode. So we've been working on things to support that role, and we've got a bunch of changes that are going to be coming to GeoGenesis um, to better support that role. And so you might have already seen a few things flipping around. The next week or two, there's going to be a bunch of changes. Um, uh, and so don't be surprised if things kind of bounce around a little bit. That's just us trying to get things ready. But yeah, great to see everyone here today. Excited for another great week in the Web3 trenches as we organize knowledge and get things ready for a larger release. So, like last week, I'm going to hand it over to Davila, who's going to run our schedule for today.
With pleasure. Hi, everybody. Lovely to see you all here. And today we have really a full packed agenda. So we have Preston sharing some product news. Then that's going to be followed by Arturas and editors going through some content highlights. Armando is going to share some lessons learned with our news story publishing that we've been doing for a week or so. A couple notes from our curators. So we have Maxime demoing his agents comparison work, and then Kevin's going to share an update on Pharma Space, our first community-driven space. And then if we still have some time, we're going to run through the leaderboards. And in the background, we're going to launch a poll on your favorite call segments. So keep an eye on that closer to the end of the call. With that said, Preston, we're going to start with you.
Sounds good. Happy to get started here. So yeah, so as Yaniv mentioned, there's going to be a bunch of updates coming into the GeoGenesis and then coming days. First, I can show you that the community calls functionality has actually been moved into GeoGenesis. There's going to be some updates on the UI here, but essentially you can see all of the upcoming community calls. We'll truncate this list so it's not so long to scroll to get to the past community calls, but you can then go to the past community calls, watch recordings for them. They'll load in here, and then so we can now keep track of all the community calls that have happened so far and what the upcoming ones are. And then for editors, you can create new community calls by just pressing that plus button and then filling in the information there. Then as Yaniv mentioned, we're going to be having a bunch of updates come to the both explore page and the space home pages. So on the explore page, you'll see this curator onboarding list, which essentially has missions, which would be what the light curator role would do for when they're first onboarding. And then after they onboard, we will also be rewarding kind of submitting rank lists and completing other activities. And then one of our big goals is to make this Explore feed much more engaging so that we'll have rankings come through here. We're going to be launching a debates content. So you'll have debates come through here. You can view those, news stories as they already are, claims that are happening either from news stories or in debates, and then even showing community calls in this Explore feed as well.
Yeah.
So
Hey, Preston, I thought we were going to show things that have been launched.
yeah, I was just showing to give a preview of what was kind of upcoming. The the main thing I wanted to show is the community calls that have been launched.
Cool. Sounds good.
Okay, some sneak peek previews here. Thanks, Preston, for sharing. Really awesome to see the platform evolving and having the community calls available on hand for everybody without jumping the apps. So great to see. And from that, we're going to move to Arturas and editors on content highlights.
Okay, so let's take a look at how the content is looking this week. And we're going to do a bit of a shorter intro. We want the editors to showcase their content. For now, I would like to just do a quick review of some of the content that's currently leading on from the upfront page to show some examples of how do we want the spaces kind of to look like. And for this one, I'd like to highlight AI space, which at this point has, I'd say, a better looking front page that we would want the other spaces to kind of model around. So first of all, in the AI space, the front page is looking good. So the trending pages, it's the content that's actually currently relevant. We have the Fable, we have the Grok 4.5, we have GPT 5.6 Sol. So it seems up to date. We have Curator of the Week. And then if we go take a look at the organization on the front page. So for example, projects are neatly grouped in categories that are useful. So AI model API providers, AI-powered app providers, enterprise AI platform providers, etc. So the grouping is great. And for a specific entity page, we would want, if it's a project, we should organize the claims around it. Claims is, of course, a big focus point for us going forward, especially. So for any project, we would want to see claims organized. For some of those, we might go into deeper and have debates around, make sure that they're properly sourced, etc. Same for the people in the AI space. So we have the researchers, we have the founders, we have the CEOs, etc. So that's another example of important entities neatly organized for the front page. And your average person entity, we would want also to have important claims organized. So props to AI space for keeping the front page up to date, well organized. And also a quick shout out in the US politics space, which this week performed really well with the claim organization, which is our priority. We'll have the editors do a closer look to the claims. But in the US politics space, each claim, we have the supporting and opposing arguments, but within them, we have a level deeper organization. And this can be never ending. Any claim can have supporting and opposing arguments that make the case for and against the claim. So props for starting to establish that hierarchy in the US politics space. So those are some of the better examples that we want others to kind of try to reach for that bar. And we can have the editors showcase the claims that they've been working on.
Cool, looking good. One update, I guess, from last week is that was a really great discussion. Thank you, people, to everyone who participated in providing feedback on the claims and questions and how we were going to structure that. And we've gone ahead and incorporated that and made the decision to really deprioritize questions in favor of making claims really the central type, so that we can continue to drill down and debate subclaims and things like that. So that was a really great discussion, and we've been continuing with that in mind.
Yeah, so to continue with the content, let's go to Dan.
All right. Give me one moment.
Hi, Dan.
Hey, Davila. All right. And on the health page, we've added trending debates. Share an example. This is currently being built out by a curator right now. So we should have this a bit more expanded in the coming week. And here's a starting claim. And then we have our supporting arguments, opposing arguments. And as we saw with US politics earlier, that can go deeper. And go back. And for submission of the week, Mohammed Mukhtar did a great job on Ebola outbreak response organizations. Let me scroll through them. And the story is trending and should be around for a little while, hopefully not too much longer, as hopefully can get a solution and nobody else is impacted by it. And we'll take a look at one of the organizations. Here we have the founding year, the organization's X, website, topics, authority models, founder, and we have the headquarters, and then led by. And we'll head over to US politics. We've also added trending debates here. And take a look at the claim Trump administration immigration enforcement has achieved a historically secure border. And under this claim, we have supporting arguments as well as opposing arguments. And if we click on any of those arguments, there's another layer of supporting arguments and opposing arguments. And for this claim itself, you scroll down, see a couple of sources. And if we click on any of those, we can see the web URL. And same for supporting. So that's one example. And then if we head over to the Trump administration under US politics, we have a new tab.
Can we go back really quick?
Oh yeah, certainly.
I'm just curious. I love this and seeing the sources. If we look at the sources property, can we see? I think if you click on the name there, yeah. Okay, so this doesn't have two entity types really listed, but it's an interesting thing. I quite like having these grouped. So I like sources as a property is great. I don't know if we want to add a list of two entity types or if we think that's too restrictive. Yeah, it is quite nice from an ontology perspective to, I guess, combine whether it's articles or quotes or podcast episodes or tweets, different types of things under the one property looks good.
Yeah, a lot of the sources that I've personally been working with are articles. And yeah, looking forward to expanding that to yeah, blog posts, tweets, etc. All right. And then we'll take a look at the Trump administration topic. Here we've added a debates tab. All right. And here a short intro, and then we have claims, and the trending debates are pulling from here. Just highlighted a couple of them. We'll take a look at Doge federal workforce spending cuts. And then similar to before, we have our supporting arguments, opposing arguments. And then taking this model, we've also replicated that to US Congress topic.
Do you know what these loading things are? Is that new?
It's newish for me.
Yeah,
It happened for
Preston,
the first
I haven't seen
3
those
days.
before.
It happened for the past 2 days.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I noticed it late last week. And yeah, US Congress, similar format. So we have a short intro before the debates, and then we can click through. And yeah, Congress should ban members from trading individual stocks. This is a pretty popular debated claim at the moment. I'm sure it will be ongoing for a while. So we can click through supporting arguments. Then we have our supporting and opposing arguments. And that is my updates for the week.
Thanks, Dan. Really impressive to see how you guys could turn the content to facilitate important conversations of the platform. Very impressive. Where do you find curators would be most beneficial to pay the attention to or to contribute?
Curious if anyone is interested in US politics, as we don't have any curators working in that space quite yet. And we're going to be releasing season 2 bounties very soon. And look forward to hearing from anyone that's interested in working in that space.
Got it. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, and what about the specific workflows? So I did love seeing that. I think it might be one of the first times in recent weeks that we've kind of dived into this type of content, and it's exactly what we want to see. So really great examples. Do you feel like you've worked with curators yet that are able to come up with those types of claims and kind of prioritize them and the supporting opposing arguments? Does that seem to be a good place for people to jump in, or like, finding relevant sources?
Yeah, the claims is a good starting point as we're kind of moving that direction. And then also news stories. That's something that curators are starting to work on, and that'll be helpful for leveling up the news app and also polishing the claims curation format. As one thing we ran into, I know Dini mentioned it last week, is that with claims, it's pretty common for the name to include a comma and for that to break up into multiple entities. And we tested out the quotations as well as a semicolon and comma. And so that's something to maybe work on.
Okay, that's just kind of a CSV import issue.
Yeah, just CSV import. So people working with SDK, they aren't dealing with that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we can check that out if we have time.
Cool.
For the workflows, I think that claims should be kind of an easy way to start contributing, because if a curator is a member of the space, so we assume that the curator is actually interested in that topic that the space is about, right? If a curator is a curator of an AI space, they would have opinions about different AI topics. And a claim is just a one sentence of whatever do you believe in, right? And just kind of understanding the arguments for or against. So I feel like most people kind of naturally have that. Like we do have opinions, and just express them in a sentence is something that should be kind of intuitive, hopefully.
Yeah, Dan, can you go back to, I don't know if maybe U.S. politics or the Trump administration, whatever you thought was a good example. I thought that was a great example, and I'm curious maybe for the group, if anybody has questions around how to pick claims, how to structure them. Let's take a look at some kind of examples and see what types of questions people maybe have around this sort of thing. Do you have your place where, so this is good to see kind of the supporting opposing arguments, but maybe where you have like a bunch of top level claims for a space?
Oh yeah. Give me one moment.
Is this something that many people have done yet? Or I know, mostly we've been, wanted to try to capture that. Mostly we've been, organizing, richer data and knowledge. But, for this sort of capturing claims and structuring them, does anyone have any questions around, how to do this sort of thing for the spaces you're working on?
So
Yeah.
while curators think of their questions, we have curators who have started creating claims via the new star ingestion. So people are starting to use it. And also curators are collecting the know-how. So we have also plans to share some experience and tips with people how to do this best.
Cool.
As
I'm curious, and I know we have a little segment we're going to be diving in maybe to the news ingester thing, but we do have those tools that like claimify news stories, things like that. I'm curious if people have experience using that and how they feel like I think it does a really good job of summarizing, the claims for a story, which is a great way, I think, to just quickly, get the cliff notes for some developing news story. Um, do people think that the claims that come out of those tend to work well as these like high level claims? Or do we feel that like those summarized claims within a news story, whether they're better just for that versus people on their own coming up with, the top most relevant, claims for a given space?
We do have Armando sort of having ready a segment to discuss that and show some work, right, on
Okay,
how the claims
cool. Then
came out.
maybe we can keep going and maybe we can discuss it then.
And then one other note too, as this fills up, there'll be a lot of claims to help with organization. We're going to group up specific topics to help it be a little more interesting and easier to navigate.
All right. Thank you, Dan. Ahmed, would you like to share some highlights from World Affairs Space?
Yeah, sure. Of course, I can do that. Um, Let me share my screen. So as a start, we are slowly building the front page with the 6 new main topics that we are going to focus on in season 2. US, China, Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Palestine, Iran war, international trade, and immigration and refugees. And I have started to get some interest from curators about international trade and immigration and refugees. Some of them have already started to sketch or scratch a few ideas, and we are going to work on that in the coming during this week and next week to start to crystallize the content priorities and to soon we will also publish new tasks and the new bounties for curators to start working on. And of course, as for the news stories and news publishing, World Affairs is considered to be the largest one among all the spaces for news publishing because there are so many things that are happening every day everywhere in the world. And we are encouraging the curators to participate in that. Like whenever you see a story that you like and you want to publish, please do that. Whenever you see that maybe one of the stories was not updated with recent numbers, please also try to update it, and that would be extremely helpful. For this week, we have the submission of the week as the US NATO relationship. One of our curators was working on it because he was inspired by the summit, the recent summit of the NATO. And for this, he started from, sorry, just a second. He started from the member countries and he was updating the member countries like they are more than 35 countries. I think 37 countries. So he added the countries and the current leader, who is it led by, and he also established the profiles for every leader. So we can also see it here. Apologies for this. I
Yeah,
think
sorry about
because
this.
I think because
We're looking into
it
this
has
now, just real
yeah
quick.
yeah I'm sorry, but I think the reason is because he loaded lots of data in the page, so these tabs are handled, I think, differently.
So no
So
worries,
he
Ahmed. Let's take a look at the main page and encourage our community to take a wonder about themselves as well.
yeah. So, like I said, he added the leaders, the country, the role of each leader. And this was really impressive from him. I liked it. I loved it a lot. And for here, for the summary, he added all of these claims. He created the claims, he wrote the claims, and all of these claims are sourced. Each claim is sourced. You can see the sources, the related entities, what is it talking about, the topic that it belongs to. Like this one is about defense spending. And I like the work he did, and he wanted to keep going on this and to add it to some kind of debates, like debating about the spending, debating about the stances of each country, about the US demands about the 5%, and during which exact summit it was discussed, what are the countries that are participating. He did really a marvelous work with this. And I'm waiting for next week that he's going to continue pushing on this. And also, he's trying to work on to give us the outcome of each summit of NATO summits. Like here, you can see the bilateral agreement with the US, between each country and the US. And here about the bilateral disputes, about like the dispute that was about with Turkey, when Turkey in 2019, sorry, they purchased the Russian S-400 air defense systems, like how they were trying to get the F-35s, now they are getting it again, and about the 10% also, like he did the marvelous work here, and like you see, everyone, that these claims were created by a curator, and it was his first time writing claims. So we have some really impressive work from curators, and
Yeah,
maybe we
really,
can encourage them more.
really exemplary work, Ahmed. Very impressive and very thorough. What's the name of the curator, if you don't mind sharing?
Asad, sorry, Asadullah. He is also
Oh,
the curator of the week. We have put his name on our here as the curator of the week.
Well
okay,
deserved.
props Assad and props Ahmed for facilitating. Go ahead, Arturas.
Yeah, one quick maybe note I would add, if you would open the claims here. So
Yeah.
these claims are great, and actually, I would say we could say this are kind of advanced claims because they're like very factual, right? There's like I see numbers, percentages. I would say maybe for most curators, it would be easier to start with, not with this kind of deep factual like claims right away, but maybe if you could focus more on the sentiment first, it would be actually easier to start with, right? Like the question here is like the claim could be, European countries are not spending enough on defense, right? For example, like that's an actual debate that's happening. And then some of these claims could be like supporting arguments, right? Like where we kind of go in and start reviewing like the facts for that.
I mean,
But capturing that high level sentiment is
Yeah, I guess they're different things. I wouldn't in any way discourage anyone from doing something like this. I think this is really
Yeah,
fantastic.
this is great.
So,
This is great.
mhm.
Yeah, and maybe we can like guide him through the week or next week about how to organize it into debates, like you said, Arturas. But
Yeah,
like
like
I
we
said,
might not start by, debating these sorts of things because probably they're quite factual. I actually think it's wonderful to actually have these sorts of things, right? Because this is what kind of happens is it's difficult to have the higher level conversations without the shared facts. And so this is the sort of thing where that actually looks like it could become shared facts. And if people want to dispute any of these sorts of things, that's fine. We could do that too. But it's nice to have things like this that maybe like meet that bar. Um, and then, yeah, the things that we're debating could be higher level things.
yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. And next, we were like reorganizing and restructuring the debates that we had last week about Iran war, and we had it also during the second community call. And this was like the new structure that we are now working on, that we have the claim, we have the arguments, we have the supporting arguments, the opposing arguments, and if we go deeper into a claim, we would see that even the supporting arguments can have supporting arguments and opposing arguments. Like we like Arturas mentioned before, we can keep going deeper and deeper and deeper as long as we can. This is like really endless, and like you can see that from any of these arguments, and they are all claims by the way. Like most of them, they have already supporting and opposing arguments. Like you can see that, however, like we have established the relationship between all these claims.
Okay,
Great
thank you,
work.
Ahmed. Very nice.
It's this is really exciting. This is something that I have not seen anywhere else on the web, right? So re really, I think the power of this technology and really great work, everyone that contributed to this.
And quick invitation for the curators. So if you see a claim in which you believe personally, like you want to defend this claim, or maybe you disagree with that claim, a good way to participate in that, if you see the supporting arguments, the question is, are these the best supporting arguments? Are these the arguments that actually will make us believe that that this is a true and correct claim, the right claim? If an argument is missing, that's where we would add in the supporting arguments. If you really don't believe in this claim, right? So check the opposing arguments and see if it's really properly refuted. Is there the most important arguments that does refute that? Are there? If it's not, and if you know that one, like adding that is a probably some of the highest contribution that you can do into the conversations. You're making sure that the best one is there.
Yeah, and the easiest way to do that is like just vote here. Like this is the simplest way to participate and the fastest way. We just need to get the sentiment from you guys about what is like you are supporting and what you don't like or you're opposing. And this would be really useful and handful for us. And I would like to thank everyone that worked with us this week during the week to get this work out to the light. Thank you so much. One last thing was about another curator. This was his first bounty, by the way, and he worked on the major crypto events, and he added the 10 major events, and he added all the details for the events. Like we see, like even the covers, he added them, and well, I remember even this Berlin blockchain, he added the details also for the side events. And this was amazing, really. He added the organizers, he added the side events. He was also trying to add covers for each of these side events, but that was like extreme. So I told him that Maybe he can focus his energy to something else. So, thank
Okay,
you so
great
much.
work.
Yeah, and his name is Tertraj, and he's the curator of the week for CryptoSpace. So, thank you so much for giving me the time, and see you all next week.
Thanks, Ahmed, and thanks, Curators. Great work. Moving on to Catalan with AI. What's up,
Hello,
Catalan?
everyone. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
First, I would like to give a shout out to Maxime, the creator of the week in the AI space, for his work on AI agents. I heard that he's gonna do a wonderful demo today. Right now, there is a very close race for the best AI model, and OpenAI and SpaceX AI are trying to catch up to Anthropic. And right now we have live on Geo, GPT 5.6 Sol. Here we can see the AI model page. We have the logo, we have a cover, then we have some claims about his launch, about the costs that are. Then we have some claims about the capabilities, which are kind of important in my opinion. Then we have some general information about the model. Here we can see oh, the benchmark evaluations of the model. We can see the agentic benchmarks, the coding benchmarks, the reasoning benchmarks, the knowledge benchmarks, and the vision benchmarks for ChatGPT 5.6. Then we have Grok for 4.5. Again, we can see claims about the launch, the economics, and its performance. Then we have some feature capabilities of the model, like structured outputs, function calling, adaptive thinking. Then we have some general information about the model. And again we have benchmarks. We have agentic benchmarks. We have coding benchmarks, reasoning benchmarks, vision benchmarks, knowledge benchmarks. And if you go to a benchmark, you can see the evaluator of the bench of who run this benchmark. Because one person can run this benchmark. Three different persons can run this benchmark for the same model. We can have artificial analysis running in this benchmark. We can have Anthropic running the same benchmark and evaluating the model. Then we have a post by Dario Amodei. We take the post and we generate the claims from it. And here we can see the claims organized into collections. The publish time, the author of the post, and the web URL to the post. Then we have a debate, and the debate is that on the claim is the main claim of the debate is that open source AI models should be restricted. And again, we have supporting claims and opposing claims. And some claims that I like are that once an AI model is released as open source, there is no mechanism to moderate its usage or to revoke the access or to update it in any way. Another claim that I like is that exploiting open source AI models for harmful purposes does not require large computing resources. And another claim that I like, and this is an opposing claim, running open source AI models locally provides stronger privacy guarantees to the user. And that's a reason not to restrict them, in my opinion, a strong one. Then we have another claim that says that open source practices accelerate scientific progress in most fields, including in AI. And those are my favorite claims from this debate. I should probably avoid them. Any questions?
All right, Catalan, great content and a lot of useful information for our curators to take as building blocks and run with them. So very good work this week. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Captain Mo, last but not least, being mindful of the time, could I just please ask you to choose the best one for the week?
All right. Hello, everyone. So in the crypto space this week, we wanted to open up the debate and the discussion to curators, adding arguments and claims on trending events in the crypto space. And the pioneer claim for the week was on Bitcoin treasury companies being a leveraged bet or not a strategy. So companies like MicroStrategy that are raising capital through stock and then buying Bitcoin. Is it a feasible strategy? And we invited curators to add claims that are arguing whether the model is fragile or the leaders are durable. And how we did it is we encourage curators to add claims on either side. And we are encouraging both personal opinions and factual statements. So like this claim, for example, was added by Jimo Sahid, and he's saying Bitcoin treasury and ETF inflows total $10 billion in 2026, which is down 83% from 60 billion in 2025. And you can see that this claim in particular is a factual claim. It has its source article. And so that's the way we are adding the claims on the arguments. So this is a table on the companies involved in the debates. And then here we can see who's doing the arguments. We have Jimo Sahid and Jimo Sahid Hikmat. We also have the sources for the claims on either side. So these are the articles that were cited by our curators. And another claim that we argued on the crypto space is on the 140 company OpenUSD consortium. So will it dethrone single issuer stable coins like USDC? We were also curious to hear opinions from curators, and we opened it up. We had great submissions from our curators. These are the companies involved in the debates, and these are the people that are making the arguments for us.
Cool. One thing just to kind of note on that is,
Yeah.
so the quality of the work is quite high. I love seeing all of this. One thing is this particular claim sounds like it's more of a prediction. And right now the predictions, obviously we have prediction markets. Those seem to be a good place for people to debate whether something's going to happen or not. I do feel like maybe a good rule of thumb, at least for the foreseeable future, is for us to try to debate either questions of fact, so whether something is true or not, right? The factual claims, and or questions of preference, like the what should we do type questions. And at least that would allow us to stake out, a more differentiated use case besides the predictions.
All right. Yeah, sounds good. Then Robinhood Chain also launched, and we wanted to get that on Geo. So started organizing claims regarding related to the launch. So the first question was, real world assets belong on chain. So we are also inviting curators to add claims in there. And then here's some key facts on the chain. We added tabs for the news, the voices. So the voices, these are the tweets regarding Robinhood chain, the officials and the bulls, and then the skeptics on the chain. Here, trying to hear both sides of the story. And then these are the infrastructure and partners, and then the products and features on Robinhood chain. So that is what we have been up to in the crypto space.
Thank you, Captain Mo. Very interesting to see having related entities on the same page as well. Facilitates understanding the content as well. Thank you very much. And now we're moving to Armando, who has some lessons to share in terms of publishing news and claims. Floor is yours, Armando.
Hi everyone. I will try to do it quick. I want to leave space to Maxime. I just want to share with you some tips and tricks to post new story with the feature add data. Several creators already start using the feature. Look, the initial feedback is kind of positive. The tool is working. People already publish story with it. The main challenge now will be not learning how to use the tool, but to make sure that everyone is following the same workflow when selecting story to avoid duplicates, to publish in the correct space, and to notifying editors. So whenever you are working for a study, the first things first is, like everything else on Geo, is to select a relevant and substantial source. I would advise to avoid live, the source saying live in the URL, because generally they are kind of short and are not substantial enough to support the good claims generation. Whenever you find a relevant source, I would advise to check wherever the story exists. You don't need to do a complete investigation. It's just a quick check to make sure that you will bring a new story to the graph. We have for more advanced curator, we also have a skill which is kind of optional, but it can help you to to support your process. So if you are interested, uh, get in touch with us. We will share it with you. This skill basically will easily help you to know what is already published on Geo, what could be published, regarding what are the main news of the day. Later on, you need to open the correct dataset space. I would advise to not use personal space. Reviewing the data and transferring the data is much easier for editor if the story are published in the dataset space. So, for example, if you want to publish a story to AI, you start from the dataset space, you publish your story there, and you will ask for review, and the story will be transferred. The feature, you already know it. It's kind of easy it's kind of super easy to use. You go to the space. Here I already select the story for you. You just paste the URL, you click on the arrow, and it will work for you. Let's see. I have some internet difficulty. Here we go again. So you just click here, it will trigger the injector. For you to know the injector is well triggered, you will see this progress bar indicating how the fetching and the story preparation is working. Just a quick note here, we are working hard on improving the speed of the injection. During the week, you should see big improvement here. It should take more or less half of the time it's currently taking. Okay. Meanwhile, it's working. We can continue. When the story will be generated, you need to review the result of the story. You will see the review edit. When you will go to the edit mode, you will see the review edit windows showing. You will see you will have a bunch of edit. The collection will be made for you, the claims, the cover, everything. You just need to check that everything is properly in its place, and that the cover is good, that the claim are accurate, that you are connecting the good entity, and you will be able to publish. We have like 20 seconds left with this progress bar, so I will continue. Whenever you review the study, when you feel confident, you publish the story in the dataset space. Whenever your story is published in the dataset space, it's live on Geo, but it's not yet live on the news app. The way for you to have your story live on the news app is to notify the editor in Discord. You drop the link of your story and you notify them, asking them, making clear that your story is ready for review and wishfully for to being transferred. Whenever the editor will be notified, it will double check your story. It will use a function which is move to space. This function will delete the story in the existing data space, data set space, sorry, and the story will be transferred into the canonical space. Here, Preston, I will need your help after the call. Let's see how the story is going. You see the story was successfully edited here. You have a cover, an introduction, collection of claims. I did before selecting this story, I obviously check in GeoNews if it was not existing, so I select it. You can see you have the source, you have a lot of source about this story, you have some people related, a main topic, a summary. Okay, so the story will be good. As I was telling you, you will go to edit mode and you will see that you are ready to review your edits. You can review that everything is good, you publish your story and you notify. As I was telling you, the editor will transfer your story to the canonical space. When the story will be transferred in the canonical space, that means your story will be live on the news app, and it will be showing, in this case, here on the top of US Politic. Okay? Just to finish very quickly, I will ask you, obviously, as always, to report any errors. You flag the error, we will help us, we will take action very fast on it. Sometimes it can happen that cover are not generated or the source you are trying to use is not fetched. So please let us know about this. Small a bit, big difference. Please pick a full article, search before you post, use the dataset space, always and off, flag anything, click a real source, check duplicate, collect space, add and review, publish, and ping. And then you will be participating like very actively to the news process, and you will be rewarded and you will be building the knowledge graph. Thank you. Of course, if you have any question, I will be on Discord. Ask me anything you need.
Thanks, Armando. Very good overview of the workflow. I'm sure it's going to be helpful for everybody taking up the new stories. You are seeing a poll on your screen, so we are very looking forward to your opinions. Please let us know what you think. And while that's going on, I'll ask Maxim. Maxim has prepared a demo for us.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Catalin, Armando, thank you for highlight my work. I sharing my screen. Okay.
Well, you can see it.
Okay. ATG is my attempt to turn the IE agent ecosystem into a public verifiable graph. ATG, the agent taxonomy graph, is not another agent directory. It is structured public knowledge layer that connects 133 agent systems to capabilities, models, protocols, benchmarks, risks, and sources. This I publish in my own space, but this is in IE space published too. The important part is not only the list of entities, it is the relationships between them and the evidence behind every relationships. Every edge is also a claim with a source evidence and confidence level, verified, reasoned, or inferred. The structure is needed because information about IE agent is deeply fragmented. Capabilities live on product pages. Model supports is hidden documentation. Benchmarks sit on separate leaderboards. Sources are difficult to trace, and price is often missing completely. If you are choosing coding again today, you can read 20 landing pages and still not answer a simple question. What will a verified result actually cost? Let me show one layer of ATG that starts to answer it. It holds 131 evaluation runs from Princeton Hall and Terminal Bench. Now let's hold one task fixed, same task, same external verifier. For this task has 47 from evidence linking successful passes. The cheapest cost just over 1/10 of a cent. Minimax model. The most expensive $1.47. Cloud Opus. Both passed the same verified outcome at more than 1,000 times the price. And the graph keeps every part connected: the task, the passes, the model, the sources, the source, the cost. Anyone can follow the chain back and challenge it. And this 77, you might click and look. So why show model price in a taxonomy of agents? Because this spread show where agent strategy can make a real difference. The model provides capability, the agent decides how it's used. Which model is enough for this task, when to escalate, and when to stop, once the result is verified. A good agent does not send every task to the most expensive model. It finds the lowest cost configuration that completes the task reliable. The graph shows the price spread today. The next ATG layer measures how agent strategy affects costs. Why does this belong in Geo? Because in normal publication, the page is the final product. In Geo, the entities and relationships remain reusable after the page is published. A model, benchmark, source, or evidence claim can be checked, extended, and connected to the new work. That turns ATG from one dataset into a shared knowledge layer that other people can build on. Geo is the public knowledge layer. The ATG dashboard is a companion view that turns the same structure into a practical decision tool. For example, suppose I need an agent for a coding work. Maybe browse automation research or coding. And I'll see the dashboard does not simply give me one universal ranking. It applies a task fit lens and shows the strongest candidates for the specific scenario. And I see codex most for my task. And this Geo, I look score, but the score is not a black box. I can see why the agent score here, which capability signals supported, and what the trade-off offs are. No, this. And I see another agent in this, and uh, and when I click capability, I can inspect the evidence behind the specific relationship. So the parts is practical question, comparison, and explainable score, and finally the underlying evidence. Geo holds the reusable knowledge. The dashboard helps people act on it. Price is only one layer. ATG can also support task fit comparison, protocol analysis, risk and control mapping, and evidence freshness. Geo keeps the knowledge public and reusable. The dashboard makes it practical. Inspect in Edge, challenge the data, build on top. The graph is open. Thank you.
Wow, I see a lot of props, Maxim, from people. So everyone really enjoyed your demo. Thank you very much and very impressive work. Do I understand correctly? You're still building on top of this as well?
Yes.
Are you?
Yes, yes, it is. This first step, this need to polish some details.
Okay, we love to see it, and it's going to be very exciting to see where you take it further. Thank you very much, Maxim. A pleasure.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wonderful work, Maxim.
Thank you.
Okay, so thanks for everybody as well for participating in our poll. It's going to be it today. Kevin's going to be spotlighted next week. He's going to have even more news on pharma. Folks are working hard there, so thank you very much, Kevin, for understanding, and thank you everybody for participating today. Yaniv.
Oh, I know we're already over, so yeah, I'll just repeat. Great work, everyone. Really excited to see all of the updates. Love where everybody's focusing on. Really excited by the combination of the focus on, those claims and news sourcing for the different, the biggest areas of each space. But even the detailed, more advanced curator stuff has been really awesome to see too, like, yeah, the AI stuff and in other places. So yeah, just keep up the great work. Thank you everyone for joining today. Really love seeing what this community does every week. Big highlight of my week. So thanks again, and see everyone throughout the week. Cheers, y'all.